Hello, everybody, and welcome to this. This is PWME News. That's ProWrestling.me news. Make sure you head over to ProWrestling.me and sign up now. That's 100% completely free. And while you're there, make sure you check out the news, blogs, and other podcasts that we do. And make sure just to roam and be very active. This is ProWrestling.me news. I tend to do this every single day, but I tend to kind of go on momentum slides. Mr. Dave KocoSports always talks about this when it pertains to the WWE, that they have momentum swings. When they're in good momentum, they tend to be good, but then when they're in bad momentum, they tend to be bad. And when it comes to my regularity of podcasts, I'm in the middle of a bad spell right now, and I'm trying to swing the momentum back and forth. I was not on Monday Night Raw podcast last night. Sadly missed it due to internet cuttage / tiredest. I was so tired it wasn't even acceptable. I did a nine and a half hour shift. To go along with that, it started at like 11 a.m. and Monday Night Raw starts at 1 a.m. So that means by the time Raw started, I'd already been up for over 14 hours if you include me actually working. So it is a lot. I apologize if you do not get very crystal clear audio because I'm using a very strange headset, and I apologize if you hear any noise in the background. I'm in the PWME UK headquarters as we are speaking. There's currently some printing going on over there. I don't know if that's the printer turning off, but whilst before I got the time slot added to me, my dad was in here doing his work for his gimmick, whatever the fuck that is. So news today, I'm going to talk about some Progress Wrestling results from the weekend. Going to talk about the pay, but this is going to be very much, as I said in the title, and as it says in the title, sorry, it's going to be really a pay-per-view talk driven show. I'm going to talk about the upcoming Payback event. I'm going to talk about Global Wars, and I'm going to talk about Slammiversary. I will not be giving TNA, I repeat, will not be given TNA Impact Wrestling spoilers, as the night is dark and full of spoilers. However, I will be talking about the spoiler card for the upcoming TNA Wrestling Slammiversary event that's coming up in sometime in June. And what better way to kick it off than Big Match John announcing his return to the WWE on the 30th of May's edition of Monday Night Raw. I've missed Big Match John. He posted on his Twitter machine. Obviously, Twitter is the land of the news recently. Conor McGregor announcing his retirement from MMA and UFC in particular, announcing he will not be a part of UFC 200. However, that statement was declined, and now I think he's back. He's reinstated. I'm not sure how that situation works. I'm not a big MMA guy. I just obviously I'm not a moron. I can see on my social media when a guy's trending what the fuck's going on here. The Conor McGregor was trending for a very long time, so obviously I went to see what's up. I did a bit of research, and I don't get the situation because I'm not a big MMA fan or a big MMA guy. I do check out from time to time various MMA pay-per-views. I did not watch UFC 197 with John Jones because it just didn't interest me. But I was interested in McGregor-Nate Diaz rematch, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. So I was very upset that didn't happen. But anyway, the point was, John Cena announcing on his Twitter, and I quote, I'm going to do it in Big Match John. They said the surgery recovery time is 9 months, but I'm ready to go in 5. This Memorial Day, Cena is back on Raw. Never give up. That's my main man, Big Match John. There's Big Match John back. And even though I didn't watch Monday Night Raw last night because of various internet cuttages, which really grinded my gears more than anything on this planet, it really frustrates me and aggravates me and just makes me an angry person when you pay an extra. And I talked about this on the last edition of ProWrestling.me news, that the internet really fucked me over. And I watched the opening promo with Shane McMahon and Stephanie McMahon. AJ came out and did the awesome fist bump, and then the internet kept cutting, and it kept cutting, and it was so frustrating. It really, really was. So apparently, according to my mum, breaking news earlier on, apparently there's something wrong with the micro filter in the gimmick box. So I don't know if that's what needs replacing. If that does not work, I will happily be switching over to BT. I might buy the BT Infinity box and see if that's any better. But it really is really aggravating and annoying when you do a podcast that relies solely on the internet. Like, this isn't a recorded, on a Skype, not a Audacity or anything like that. I'm doing it live, so we can get some live comments. Speaking of live comments, please put any live comments if you do have any live comments in. I will respond to each and every single one of them. But again, main topics of today will be results and pay-per-view previews. So if you do have any thoughts on pay-per-view previews, any pay-per-view really, I know there's a New Japan Pro Wrestling in Duntaku, which I'm going to be talking about to an extent in the future dates of PWME News, because I want to make this a daily show around about the same time as this. And I apologize if you are trying to do live comments. I know it's 4:05 p.m. UK time. It's probably about 10 a.m., 9 a.m., 11 a.m. in America. God knows where it is anywhere else in the world. But thank you for joining me if you're watching this live. I'm just going to triple check that the audio is working before we get going and really breaking this down, because you guys know how many times I haven't had any audio working, and it's so damn frustrating. So let's triple check, ladies and gentlemen, that the audio is working. Thank you for joining me. Yep, the audio is working. That's always good and lovely to see. So let's get down with it. So there we are. We talked about Big Match John. We're going to talk about TNA next. I'm not going to be giving you any spoilers of the actual Impact Wrestling tapings, because, in my opinion, the night is dark and full of spoilers. And speaking of that, if any of you watched Game of Thrones, please put in the comments after we do this live, because, I don't want to read it live in case there's people who don't want to know the spoilers because they haven't checked that awesome episode out. But I absolutely loved this episode of Game of Thrones, and hit me up on Twitter at LK Wrestling, and I'll either DM you or talk to you about it, however you feel free to talk about it, because I absolutely adored Game of Thrones season 5 episode 1, and it was absolutely awesome. Anyway, back to the Slammiversary pay-per-view lineup that will air on Sunday, June the 12th. It will be taking place in the Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida. And again, not going to read any spoilers, but will read the draft, the rough draft, so to speak, of the Slammiversary pay-per-view event. So we have Pepper Parks taking over. That begins. That's just the title. It just says Pepper Parks takes over. Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy. For crying out loud, that means this feud is continuing. It's been going on since about January, February now. I mean, it was cool in 2001, it was cool in 2009, it was cool in 2015, and it's damn ludicrous in 2016. I mean, how many times do you have to see these guys lock horns? It doesn't say any stipulations. It doesn't say if it's a gimmick match. It just says Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy. Now, again, there could be a stipulation added. We do not know as of this moment, because I have not read any spoilers, because, again, the night is dark and full of spoilers, and that's not me. I'm not a spoiler guy, and I find it very easy to stay away from spoilers. Just don't check certain websites. Certain spoilers, for instance, Lucha Underground spoilers, I find very difficult to stay away from. But again, I don't read them on air, because I don't like to be that guy who ruins your enjoyment of professional wrestling. Because I don't want to be a hypocrite. If I hate it when someone gives me spoilers. Like, I hate it. I don't care who you are. It drives me absolutely berserk. It drives me bonkers. It makes me really, really angry when someone gives me spoilers. So I tend to not give out spoilers. So I have the excuse, look, I didn't give you spoilers, so don't give me spoilers. Anyway, Knockouts title match, we have Jade versus Cena. It's Allison Kay from Shine Wrestling, or Shimmer. It's the one that's on WN Live, because I remember I checked out Shine a couple of months ago, and she was on there, and I think she was on TNA Knockouts Knockdown. I think she faced Gail Kim in the opener. I did try to watch the TNA One Night Only pay-per-view. It's free in England, but my Christ almighty, I really could not give two shits about that. But again, Jade, Allison Kay does sound like a pretty damn good match. Gail Kim versus Maria Kanellis. EC3 Mike Bennett. Oh, that does sound pretty good, and I'm pretty sure there'll be some stip to that. And then in the main event, a TNA World Heavyweight Championship match, we have Drew Galloway versus Bobby Lashley in a submission/knockouts match. That's very interesting to me. That's really intriguing, actually. I wonder how that will work. But as a card, that doesn't seem too bad. I mean, I would have preferred if we mixed up a little bit. I wouldn't have minded a EC3 Lashley and then Mike Bennett versus Drew Galloway. But I understand this has been a real good feud with EC3 and Mike Bennett, and I'm looking forward to what they're going to do and how they're going to build up. And as a pay-per-view card, will I be willing to pay however? Well, I'm going to get it for free anyway. Like, in England, we get it for free on Challenge TV, so I don't know how much you Americans have to pay for it. If it's still $49.99, I wouldn't pay that. I would never, ever, in my million wildest dreams, ever pay any more than £20 for a wrestling pay-per-view. Ever. Not once. I think the maximum I've paid is $19.99, and that's for a WrestleMania. I think that was it. But I've never paid anything more than $19.99 for a wrestling event. And people paying, $49, $59 if you want to watch in HD, that's absolutely insane. Now, I know, TNA won't get all of the cut. They'll only get a certain percentage of the cut made, as obviously they need to pay the pay-per-view provider. But in the end of the day, Jesus Christ on a popsicle stick, that's so expensive for a pay-per-view, for a wrestling event. Probably cheaper to watch it there and get a VIP package, if I'm going to be honest with you, because you can actually watch the damn thing for free as long as you go to Universal. Think about this. If you're a wrestling fan, on Sunday, June the 12th, head over, book the day off. If you're a wrestling fan, if you've got a wife and kid, or if you've just got a wife, or you just got a kid, however, or if you just want to go with some friends, girlfriend, whatever the fuck you do with your spare time, head over to Orlando. If you live in Orlando, go to him. Go to the Universal Studios, buy a ticket. You don't have to buy a ticket for Slammiversary. It's first come, first serve. Spend some time with them from like 10 till 4. Then at 4, start queuing up for Slammiversary. That's it. I mean, that's a great day's value. You get a pay-per-view, which would have cost you, $59 to watch in HD. You're watching that live in person. You're going to get good seats. There's not really a bad seat in the Impact Zone. I mean, that's just absolutely amazing. And I would definitely do that and recommend anyone who lives in America to go do that. Why am I promoting TNA so much? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the nice part of me, but the narcissistic side doesn't want me to. So let's move on to Ring of Honor. There's a lineup now announced for the April the 30th, which is the West Warwick show, which is following the Ring of Honor show in San Antonio. This card does look stacked. Obviously, we're heading into the May 8th Global Wars pay-per-view. So this is a house show coming up in 4 days. And I just really want to advertise this because it looks like an absolutely incredible card. And anyone who's in RI, is that Richmond, Illinois, or I don't know, but it's Warwick, RI. If you live in that area, check this out. Listen to this for a card, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to this. Okay, you got Donovan Dijak, versus Joey De Diego. Don't watch that. ACH versus Roderick Strong. The Young Bucks versus the All Night Express. Ring of Honor World Champion Jay Lethal versus local talent Vinny Mascaleda in a non-titled championship challenge match, which means if Vinny Mascaleda, or however the fuck you pronounce this guy's name, apparently he's a really talented local guy from the area, if he wins, he gets a future Ring of Honor World Championship match sometime down the line. And in the main event, listen to this for a tag team match. And I tell you on a consistent, regular basis that Ring of Honor has the most in-depth and best tag division in the world. Not only did you have the Young Bucks All Night Express in the opener, you have the Briscoes versus the Motor City Machine Guns versus Red Dragon in a 3-way tag team match. I pray that this will be taped for pay-per-view, not pay-per-view, for the weekly television. Sorry. I really hope that's taped because that sounds like a cracking match, and I'm really pumped for that, and I hope it's taped. If not, I'll definitely check that out on video on demand because that match sounds amazing, as does ACH versus Roddy Strong, as does Kazarian versus Moose, Daniels Leo Rush. That's a damn good-looking card there. Leo Rush, I've seen, he's playing this really strange gimmick. I started watching a bit of ZZW, Combat Zone Wrestling Best of the Best tournament. And his gimmick in ZZW is kind of like this dark, mysterious guy, and he comes out in his suit. He had blood all over it. It was awesome. It was really awesome. So I'm interested to see what character Leo Rush is going to portray in Ring of Honor. Is he going to go carry on with the same gimmick he's got at the moment, or is he going to progress that and turn into the dark side? And that was not making a racist comment for there's any racist remarks. It was not. It was me stating the fact that he played that. He's got this dark, mysterious, mystical character in CZW. And I know that CZW. And I know I'm a hater of deathmatch wrestling because it destroys psychology. It just throws it out the window. It means nothing. But in the end of the day, it was fucking awesome. And I'm looking forward to that event. And Global Wars is shaping up to be a damn good card. I'm going to be honest with you. And if you do not know what the lineup for Global Wars is, I'm going to read it out for you right now because it looks absolutely terrific. It's going to be live on pay-per-view on May the 8th. From Chicago Rich. It's got an absolutely phenomenal lineup. And I mean phenomenal. This is the first time a Global Wars event has taken place outside of Canada. It used to be a Canada exclusive in Toronto, usually, but it's not. And we've got a damn good lineup. I mean, you've got Jay Lethal defending the Ring of Honor World Championship against Colt Cabana. Please be sure to head over to Ring of Honor's YouTube channel and watch the promo, watch the video preview, watch the video hype, and tell me you don't want to spend that money. Just in. Tetsuya Naito, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, if he's still Heavyweight Champion, because remember, he'll be defending it against the current Ring of Honor World TV Champion, Tomohiro Ishii, at New Japan Wrestling under Tanku. He'll be facing Kyle O'Reilly. What a match that's sure to be. Ishii defending the Ring of Honor Television Championship against one Mr. Bobby Fish. What a match. War Machine Briscoes, brutal. Addiction versus Liger and Cheeseburger. That's going to be fun. Hiroshi Tanahashi and Michael Elgin versus Kazuchika Okada and Moose. And then a huge 8-man tag team match. You got the Bullet Club, which is the team of Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Tama Tonga, and Tanga Roy versus Kushida, Matt Sydal, and MCMG, which makes up obviously Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. So what a damn good lineup that is for the Ring of Honor pay-per-view coming up in just a couple of weeks now. I think it's a week on Sunday. So not only do you have a pay-per-view coming up on Sunday presented by the WWE, then you got a Ring of Honor, a New Japan mega show colliding at Global Wars on pay-per-view. Then you got a New Japan Wrestling on Tatanku in between the payback. It's just a lineup of just great time to be a professional wrestling fan. And speaking of great time to be a professional wrestling fan, Progress Chapter 29 happened April the 24th on Sunday. Apparently the title was Chapter 29, Practically Progress in Every Way. It was held in the Electric Ballroom in London, which I swear to you I'm going to go to. I'm currently halfway through watching Progress Wrestling Chapter 28. Please let me go get what I want. That happened on the 10th of April, and I will be bringing that as a review for this channel. I'm only halfway through watching that show at the moment. I'm currently involved in the women's match featuring Ginny and Toni Storm. So, just some results here. If you do not want to know, as this show will be released for video on demand next week. So here's again a little bit spoilers, but it's not really spoilers because the results are out there. Michael Dante pinned Damo O'Connor in the Atlas tournament. In the WWE Global Cruiserweight Series, Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Flash Morgan Webster. Jack Gallagher defeated Pete Dunne in the second and final qualifying match for the WWE Global Cruiserweight Series. And it should be noted that basically they asked the crowd, because if you've never been to a Progress or even heard of Progress or even watched a Progress Wrestling match, the crowd are very into it. For instance, Pete Dunne, he has a top knot hairstyle, which is basically like a bun on the top. The crowd vigorously on Chapter 28 chanted top knot wanker. And basically the owner of the company before basically said, look, they put the match on early. They put Zack Sabre Jr. on early because they'll be more sober, they'll be less drunk, and it means that they asked politely, if in a real respectful manner, obviously, can you not swear? Because this will be airing on the WWE Network, which is fucking awesome exposure for Progress, and it's awesome because I love Progress more than the Straight Man show. Then we had Pastor William Eva pinned Damon Moser to win the National Progression Series. That earns him a future Progress Wrestling Championship match anytime down the line. Elizabeth and Dinah Black defeated Ginny and Pollyanna. Rampage Brown and Joe Coffey fought to a 15-minute time limit draw in the Atlas Championship round robin tournament, which left the standing as Group A, T-Bone with 2 points, Big Daddy Walter with nothing, Lester Reeves with 0, Big Dave Mastiff with 0, Michael Dante with 2, Joe Coffey, Rampage Brown both on 1 because obviously the draw, Damon O'Connor who lost earlier on with 0. Then you had the London Riots and FSU, which is Mark Andrews and Eddie Dennis, defeating my favourite stable in professional wrestling, The Origin, which is Nathan Cruz, El Ligero, Dave Mastiff, and Zach Gibson. I'm a fan of all 4 men. Nathan Cruz, in my opinion, one day will be one of the very best sports entertainers the world has ever seen. Mark my words, mark it on the 26th of April 2016. LK dubbed Nathan Cruz as a future WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Promise you. Go check this guy out, please. And then the main event, Progress Champion Mighty Skull defeated Tommy End via disqualification to retain the Progress World Championship. And it is a World Championship. The championship has been defended in Italy on Sunday, or make that Saturday for CWE in Italy. It will be Marty Skull defending against Zach Gibson from The Origin. And there you are. I've talked about TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan, some Progress, and now let's end it up with WWE, just because that's where most people, this is where the views will come from. WWE Payback. Thanks for sticking around this long, and please check out all those various promotions, but whether it be TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan, Lucha Underground, wherever the fuck you want to watch, please check all that stuff out. It is phenomenal professional wrestling. There is alternatives besides the WWE. I'm going to pause for the cause and swig a drink for the working man. I'm going to check the live comments. I'm watching this on a very, very strange time, so I'm really, really not expecting any live comments as such, but it would be nice if we did have some. And if you are watching live, please put something in the comment section below to tell me you're watching this live and how you're enjoying the show. No live comments. Damn, that's a shame. I've got some tweets. These imbeciles, I don't care. Oh, God, I hate it when you get notifications and text messages during shows. Please leave me alone when I'm doing my damn podcast. So Payback 2016 is coming up this Sunday. Matches announced for this card, we have the pre-show match now announced for the US Championship. We have Kalisto versus Ryback. My thoughts on this is it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. This was the match that was taking place in all the house shows for the European tour. That's how relevant it is. The match could be good, but again, I just don't care. Mr. McMahon is going to decide whether Shane or Stephanie will run Raw. I don't know how that's going to go. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if what they're going to do is just give Stephanie SmackDown and Shake and have Raw, and then next Monday night will be the draft. I don't know if they're going to do that. That's a bit of fantasy and dream booking for you there. But I don't know if the roster's deep enough for that to happen. But in the event, I don't really want to give too much detail because I know we're going to be doing loads of damn previews and predictions, and I'm going to be doing PWME news. So maybe every day, each different day heading into the payback, I might break down a different match. Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin was announced after various attacks from Dolph Ziggler and various attacks from Baron Corbin. Prediction, well, I'm not going to give my predictions. Tag Team Tournament number contender finals, you have the Vaudevillains versus Enzo Amore and Big Cass. Women's Championship match, Charlotte defending against Natalya, Jericho Ambrose, Zayn Owens, IC title Miz versus Cesaro, and then your main event, Roman Reigns defending his WWE Worldwide Championship against AJ Styles. So, as an actual wrestling lineup, guys, what a lineup. That is honestly a splendid looking card. I mean, those top 5 matches for me are money matches. I mean, Miz Cesaro has been built up right. I did not watch Monday Night Raw. However, I watched the YouTube clips and the promo of Miz and Cesaro getting the upper hand with a catapult uppercut. It was pretty damn awesome. I enjoyed that. But obviously, I only watched 3.5 to 4 minutes of it. You might have had to sit through 10 to 20. So, of course, I'm going to think it's good. I'm expecting Miz to retain. I want the Miz to retain. I think him as a heel is absolutely phenomenal and world class. He's one of the very few heels in WWE that get you to boo him. Not because he sucks, not because he's shit work, not because he can't work, because he's damn good at his job, and I respect that. But it'll be good. Maybe Cesaro gets the win, depending. I don't want to see that belt because I'm a big fan of the IC title, the Workhorse Championship, just to be thrown around like it means nothing. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. That's going to be phenomenal. I mean, we've seen this. I mean, I personally saw it at 2010 Final Battle in my first ever Ring of Honor event. It was fucking phenomenal. Jericho Ambrose could do big things for one Mr. Dean Ambrose. Women's chat again, it is a big deal for Ambrose. Again, it may not seem it to certain people, but beating Jericho is a big freaking deal. It is. It's a huge deal. So for Dean Ambrose to defeat Chris Jericho on pay-per-view, I think it's a huge deal, and I think it could do wonders for this man's career. Charlotte versus Natalya. Bret Hart is in Natalya's corner. Sorry, Ric Flair's in Charlotte's corner. Bret Hart in an interview said he does not want to be on the side of Natalya, but he's doing it in honor of Natalya. And in the main event, Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles is damn sure going to be awesome. And fingers crossed, AJ Styles wins the heavyweight championship of the world. But there is more chance of the Pope wanking myth. Even someone said this in the comment section, it really made me chuckle a few weeks ago. Even if Roman Reigns died in that ring, touch wood it doesn't. Touch wood it doesn't. But per se, if Roman Reigns died in the ring, AJ would have to bump and put Roman Reigns' arms over his shoulders and let the ref count the 3 count. AJ Styles, sadly, will not walk out of Payback as world champion, but the intrigue of Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows and add Finn Balor into the mix after dropping the NXT Championship against Samoa Joe, it's an absolutely incredible time for the main event scene. It's so fresh. I mean, I just said Sami Zayn Owens, Cesaro Miz, a big time championship match. Jericho Ambrose, AJ Styles in the main event for the world championship on a damn pay-per-view. Who would have thought that? So fingers crossed it's a good show. I'm going to continue watching Progress Wrestling Chapter 28. Please let me get what I want. 2016. You should too. Head over to progressondemand.com and subscribe, however much that is. But while you're there, whilst you're on the internet browser, head over to pricing.me, sign up. That's 100% completely free. Let's get that more active. I'm going to sort out the news for that later on today. Thank you so much for watching this show. Leave a like, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for joining me here. Stay safe still. This has been your boy OK from pricing.me, and I'll be damn sure catching your asses down the line.